My wife asked me for an open relationship. After her first date, I was gonna leave her. Now she says we should swing so that I'm not left out. I, Seth 27 male, have been married to my wife, Madison 26 female, for 2 years. We have been together for 4 years. I wouldn't say anything about our relationship had been extraordinary in the grand scheme of things. We met through a mutual friend and just clicked. We dated for like 18 months, then moved in together and got engaged. We had a typical small wedding 6 months later. For the first 2 years of our marriage, everything seemed fine. We have both been focused on our careers and are doing pretty well. We still make time for each other and go on dates often. 4 or 5 months ago, she landed a managerial position in her field at a different company. 1 week later, she asked me for an open relationship. I was completely blindsided by that. We have never talked about anything like that before. When I asked where this was coming from, she talked about some married coworker named Abigail that is in an open relationship. Madison and her have been talking about this since her 3rd day working there. She starts trying to sell me on this with all these bullet points. Bring us closer together, new experiences, take our sex life to the max, meet new people, etc. On initial approach, I was completely against this. I still am, yet I find myself in this stupid situation. When I first rejected it, she just accepted that and we moved on with our night. She didn't stop though, she brought it up again and again. In addition to just casual mentionings, she also began sending me stories out of our non-monogamy and our open marriage. These were all cherry-picked stories, and when I started exploring the subs on my own and sending back horror stories, she stopped doing this and said, we shouldn't be basing our marriage adventure on someone else. She also became super wife. Picking up my favorite snacks, doing more housework, trying to initiate sex all the time. I enjoyed that, but at the same time it's not as much fun when you know there is an ulterior motive. I've been asking her if there is someone she has in mind. She swears there is not, even getting angry the last time I asked. I don't really believe her. I know her new job has quite a few guys that work there. The company is also known for recruiting heavily out of the colleges, so it's likely a lot of guys right in our age bracket. Yet, she keeps pushing the same narrative of bringing us closer together and having new experiences. I can kind of see the latter point. I am only her second boyfriend. She was in a 6-year relationship prior to our meeting, and had only been out of it for 3 weeks when we met. I'm slightly more experienced than her. Her being my 3rd girlfriend and 6th sexual partner. 2 months ago she managed to break me. I had stayed pretty steadfast in that I was apprehensive towards doing anything like this. The whole time from the initial approach until that 2-month mark, she was really sweet and understanding, but also pushy. On this day, she went ultimatum. I said, I don't think I'll ever be ready to share you with others. She responded by saying, maybe we should take some time apart. That was like a jab in the face. Are you serious? She looked sad and had a tear forming in one eye. Yeah, I just feel confined. I understand you don't want this, but I think I need to experience things. Maybe it isn't for us, but I want to try, and it seems you don't, so I guess we are at an impasse. I asked, you want a divorce? Am I just not enough for you anymore? She softened, never about you not being enough. I just want to be open to having experiences, meeting people and not being bound by arbitrary rules and social norms. I don't want a divorce, I want you. I just feel like I need to explore this, and you don't want to. So maybe we should just take some time apart, not divorce, and see how we feel after a month or 2. This is where I caved, and ended up in the position I am now. I will give it a try. She immediately perked up, but can we take things slow? Can we come up with some basic rules? Madison clearly excited, but trying to downplay. Yes, we can just take our time. Thank you, I really think this will be a good thing in the long term. She then initiated sex, which I totally went along with. A few hours ago we had dinner with a couple we are supposed to swing with. I spent most of the dinner making small talk with Kara, a very attractive 21-year-old. She is very much my type physically, but this feels so weird. Madison and Kara's boyfriend Leland, who are co-workers by the way, were flirting and talking like this is second nature. I can't help but wonder if this was Madison's plan all along. He is a good-looking guy, so am I, but this all seems too convenient. Kara and I, however, seem a lot more apprehensive. She seems sweet, but there is definitely an awkwardness between us. Madison told me this couple wanted to swing with us because we're all new to this. I have this feeling something is up though between my wife and this other guy. When I caved and told Madison we could try an open relationship and that I'd like to take it really slow, she took that to mean like waiting until the next day was slow enough. I figured we would really talk about rules, read some books on ENM, ethical non-monogamy, and take things one step at a time. I got up the morning after I agreed a little later than usual. Madison had gotten up quite a bit earlier than usual. She had made us both Tinder profiles. Like really had put a lot of effort into both of them. I tried to tell her this was too fast, but she countered saying, it's just being ready for when we are ready. It could take months for either of us to match with anyone. We can take things slow, but now this part is done and we can start making matches while we figure this out. I accepted that response. However, within 24 hours, she had about 20 matches. That number just kept growing and growing as the days went by. We would try to talk about how we wanted this to go, but she was also distracted by all the activity on her phone. Within 4 days she was already messaging directly with a few guys. 3 weeks later she had her first date set up. We had talked about the rules and boundaries we were going to have. She had agreed to all of them, although some of them only begrudgingly. First was the obvious one, use protection at all times. We also had a few more boundaries though, like not being physical with anyone on the first date. Being home by an agreed upon time or updating the other on changes. Giving each other details on our dates, like location, who the other person was, this was for safety, and making our relationship a priority. This meant no cancelling plans with each other for time with others. A lot of these boundaries went out the window on her first date. We had only been open 3 weeks at this point. She went out and said she would be back by 11 p.m. She came home at 12:30 a.m. I was still up. I was pretty upset at the time. She had not so much as sent a text. She clearly had done something with this guy. She was trying to come on to me, but I was rejecting it. I was done at this point and told her that she was way later than she said. There was no communication at all, and I had no doubt she messed around with this guy. She didn't try to hide it, just kept giving me the excuse that things escalated and she got caught up in the moment. She promised to do better next time, and that now that she knows she can get excited she will have a plan for managing that. Then she tried to get me to reclaim her. I was not interested and told her so. That's when she got pissed and told me she was getting in the shower. I slept on the couch that night. The next morning, I had decided I was out. I went into our bedroom and was packing a bag. She woke up to this and asked me what I was doing. I said, I'm leaving. She seemed alarmed and asked, where are you going? What do you mean you're leaving? I told her, I'm done, I'm going to my sister's, I'm not going to sit here around the house forever while you're out dating. You put me onto those subs to convince me. Well, I read a lot more than just what you wanted me to. Here's the reality of most of those stories, and I'm sure this would be my reality as well. You'll sort through tons of matches and pick and choose who you want. I'll go months, maybe years without a match, then eventually we will divorce once the resentment gets too high. I'm just cutting to the end now. She interjected, you had the one match. I angrily replied, we both know that was a bot. She jumped up then and put her hands on me. Okay, I'm sorry, you are right, we are going too fast. Please don't go, we can work this out, we can find a balance that works for both of us. You're upset right now, let's calm down and really talk about this. I'm sorry, nothing like last night will happen again, trust me, we can work through this. I caved again at that point. I cave a lot. We talked later that day. It was finally the deep conversation we needed to have before we did anything. The conversation she was too distracted to have the first time. It's also the one that led to today. going to dinner with Madison and another couple, having a vibe check. Dinner was fine. Madison and Leland vibed for sure, which I found pretty annoying. I did my best to act normal. I think Kara was doing the same thing. As the night went on, and it appeared like our significant others were way more infatuated with each other, Kara and I started talking a little bit about the elephant in the room. While neither of us just came out and said it, I think the real vibe here is that neither of us necessarily wanted this, and now we're just along for the ride. At least that's how it seemed to me. Before we parted ways, we traded numbers. I think I'll try texting her tomorrow just to see how much of this is actually her idea. I only have another day. We're supposed to go over to Abigail's house Saturday night for a play party, which again makes me feel like we're rushing into this. We have never done this before, but apparently we're going to join 10 other couples at a swinger party. Madison keeps assuring me it's not what I'm thinking and I don't have to do anything I don't want to, but we should go and see what it's like. She says we're just going to see if this is something we want, and if so we can go ahead with Leland and Kara. I guess I'm going. I'm just stupid enough to keep this failed train rolling. I'm also thinking Kara is really hot, and if Madison keeps pissing me off and ducking around, I may just say duck it, and find out.